Hello and welcome to today's discussion. Let's begin with the question. The first question was explain the concept of the human resource development, which I have written as HRD, and discuss about the scenario of the HRD in India. See, this part of the question has two parts, and basically it's a 10 markers question within the word limit of 100 to 150 words. First of all, let us understand what does the word human resource means. See, most of us, if we go through the human resource Google meaning, basically they say that ki human resource meaning is mostly associated with the management part, or I say it is associated with a company or an organization. But human resource in our context is more than that. It's about the nation. Now, look into it. Now, in this context, if I say human resource is nothing but the national resource, and what is the resource of the nation? Your citizens of the nations are the resources. Now, what is human resource development? Human resource development is a process of providing opportunities for the holistic development of the citizens of the nation. Simple. It is for the holistic development of the citizens, we need a human resource development. It's a process of providing them opportunity. What are the opportunity? Education, public amenities like sanitation, road, skill development, etc. Now, this can be the part of your introduction. What is your human resource development? Next, human resource development scenario in India. First of all, let's talk about the literacy. Average literacy rate stands at 74.04 percentage. Now, when we compare the women literacy with that of the men literacy, we find that the women literacy is only 65.46%, whereas in comparative the men literacy is over 80%. So you can see that though we are having an average of 74.04%, but still what happens is that there is a gender inequality that prevails. Next, again we have you have the Uttar Pradesh where the literacy rate is only 65%. Again we have the high states such as the Kerala with a high level of literacy such as the 93%. Let's move on to the skilled workforce. As per the Labor Bureau report of 2014, it's the Labor Bureau report of 2014, the current size of the India's formally skilled workforce is 2%. It was the Labor Bureau report of 2014. It says that of the total labor force that is available with us, only 2% of them are skilled, and largely most of them are unskilled. And that is the very reason that you can see that in the Indian economy, the formal economy is only 11% and the informal economy is approximately 89%. What is the formal economy? Formal economy are those economy which is under the tax ambit or which are regular economy or which are the regular in nature, whereas the informal are those that is not within the tax ambit, and it is from this informally firms or from the informal employment that black money is majorly generated. Next, education. While we have 100% enrollment in the primary education, in context of the higher education we have only 23 to 25% gross enrollment. What is the gross enrollment? Gross enrollment means how many people are availing the education. For the primary education we have 100%, but on the other hand for the for this your higher education we have only 23 to 25%. Next, poverty. Now, multi-dimensional poverty. Remember that poverty cannot be in the context of food only, but poverty is more than food, and it is, I call it as the roti, kapda, makan, and that is nothing but your multi-dimensional poverty. And that multi-dimensional poverty, which persists amongst 27.5% of the percent of the people as per the multi-dimensional poverty index of 2019. Next, again we have the prevalence of the child labor. What is the estimate? That is 10.1 million people as per the 2011 census. Again we have the prevalence of the child marriage. Now, what are the government initiative? For education we have the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. To eradicate poverty we have the Manrega, we have the Ajivika. For the skill development we have the Din Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushal Yojana. So basically in the conclusion what we want to write is that we would write that the government has taken multiple initiatives to to develop the existing human resource to make it more capable for the benefit of the nation. This is the simple conclusion that we can draw from it. Next, in spite of existence of so many law in contrary to the inequality in India, still exist in a brutal form. See, first of all is that key simple go for the statement that the reason for the existing of the inequality in India are as follow. Within that, please draw this flowchart. This flowchart will actually help the examiner to understand that you know that what are the facilities that have been provided for the women empowerment. Next, similarly in the above question also flowcharts are mandatory for you to draw. Now flowcharts will show the examiner that this person has a proper understanding. Next, social causes, patriarchal norm of the society, illiteracy amongst the masses. This is one of nature. Next, what are the economic causes? Economic causes, what we have is that lack of skill development, lack of job opportunity, prevalence of the sexual harassment at the workplace. This can be, again we have a political cause. What is the political cause? I would say that the absence of reservation of women in both parliament and legislative assembly. Now, on one hand, we have the reservation that is prevailing in the panchayat, but such does not prevail in both your parliament and your legislative assembly. Next, let's move on to the third question. The third question says that the use of the third degree method by police is a gross violation of the human rights. Simple. In the introduction itself, we can borrow this from the question. The third degree is a violation of the human rights because reason number one, it violates the article 21, that is your right to life and liberty. Number one. Number two, forceful conviction means forcefully we are convicting the victim through third degree, which could be false, means it could also be false, means an innocent person could be forced to give a convicted would be forced to give a statement which would not be true, and it is against the human rights again. Next, utilization of the torture could lead to the custodial death, and death itself, or I would say that custodial death itself, is the biggest violation of the human rights. Next, third degree torture will result in the negligence of the duty of the law enforcement agency to find proper evidence, thereby violating the human right of the accused. Please understand this. Now see, if a person has been accused of a particular crime, accused means a person who is not proven guilty. Now, if a person who has been accused and not proven guilty, and upon him a third degree torture has been utilized, so what will happen is that the person will not be able to take the torture, and he will say that sir, whatever you are saying, I'm agreeing upon it. ଆପଣ ଯାହା ବି କହୁଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ରାଜି ଅଛି, ଆଉ ଦୟାକରିକି ମୋତେ ଯେଉଁ ଦଣ୍ଡ ଦେବାର ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, ଆଉ ଟର୍ଚର୍ କରନ୍ତୁନି. So basically କ'ଣ ହେବ କି that this particular that the police, the basic ତାଙ୍କ ଡ୍ୟୁଟି କ'ଣ ଥାଏ, ତାଙ୍କ ଡ୍ୟୁଟି ଥାଏ ଯେ law evidence ଯୋଗାଡ଼ କରିବା. So ସେମାନେ ଆଉ ଯୋଗାଡ଼ କରିବେନି, ସେମାନେ ଏକତରଫା କାମ ଚଳା ବଜେଟ୍ କରିକି ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କରିବେ, ଏ ଲୋକଟା ମୁଣ୍ଡରେ ଦୋଷ ନଦେବେ କାରଣ ସେ ନିଜର ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଦେଇଦେଇଛି, third degree torture ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି. So this is the basic thing. So within the again sir, last but not the least, it says that right to legal procedure is neglected. See, third degree torture, what happens is that the legal procedure will end very swiftly. The particular accused person, he would say that sir or madam, that I have committed this kind of a crime, and as a result of which what happens, no need of a proceeding means the proceeding will actually reduce. There won't be any more proceedings. In 1 or 2 hearings, the person would be convicted. Now the conclusion I would say is that violation of the natural justice is equals to the third degree torture. Hence, the third degree torture should be prohibited in all context. Most of you, those who would be opting for OPS, please remember that the third degree torture has been completely made illegal by the Supreme Court. And in that context, if you are using third degree torture, please be very careful. It could lead to custodial death, and custodial deaths or any kind of the human rights violation will obviously impact your job in the future. Next, explain the demographic shift. And next, examine the impact of the shift on the human resource management. So basically, again, the question has 2 parts. Again, that question is 10 marks. See, demographic shift means transition of the population that can be from high to low, or it can be from low to high. The impact of the shift. In case we are facing the high population will result in unemployment, High population will result in the resource scarcity of the for the population, high level of the multidimensional poverty, and next but not the least, it's the youth population is more than the elderly population. Example is your India. In India, what is happening is that we are witnessing demographic dividend, and our youth population is more than our elderly population. Now, what happens with the low population? Low population will happen is the scarcity of the labor, means there would be lack of labor. Though there would be abundance of the resources, but again there would be lack of labor to harness the resource. Low level of MDP. What is MDP? None other than your multidimensional poverty. Next, elderly population would be more than the youth. Example is your Germany, but the elderly are more than the youth. In the conclusion, basically what we are going to write is that here, in the case of the high population, the government should focus on providing employment. And in case of the low population, the government should focus on bringing more people into the labor force through the immigration policies or through various legislations, etc. Legislations such as supporting women who are giving more childs or who are giving more birth to children. Such thing can happen, such as already happened in the Russia, such as the Mother Lenin Award was given if you are having more than 2 children. Next, what do you mean by demographic dividend? First part of the question. Second part of the question is India prepared to reap the potential of the potential in the coming years? Now, this is an old question, but you have to write it in the new context. You have to write it in the contemporary context. Now, demographic dividend is a stage in the demographic transition wherein the population of the working age 15 to 59 is more than the dependent population. Next, present situation in India. Prevalence of the COVID pandemic across the world, which has reduced the investment, number one. Number two, closure of the business due to the lockdown. Number three, reduction in the employment opportunity. Number four, recession across the world has severely impacted the IT sector. Now, what has the government taken the steps? Government has initiated the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to make the India self-sufficient in the process of manufacturing. Self-sufficient in the process of manufacturing, and to create millions of employment opportunity across the nation. Simple. Next question was here: what is your Lok Adalat and what purpose does it serve? This is a 5-marker question, but this question has basically 2 parts. Now, Lok Adalat are the alternative dispute resolution forum created under the Legal Service Authority Act of 1987. This definition is a must write. With this, you will get a sure shot of 2 marks, because the examiner would know that this person has the conceptual clarity of what a Lok Adalat is and why and how it is formed. So basically, it's nothing but a statutory body. Next, it reduces the pending cases in the judiciary. This answer is to your second part of the question, that it reduces the pending cases in the judiciary, as the case resolved through the LA cannot be challenged in any forum. Even if the case has been resolved by the Lok Adalat, you cannot move to the High Court to challenge it. You cannot move to even to the Supreme Court to challenge it. Supreme Court will also not take up their security petition or any other forum to entertain your case. Next, steps taken by government of Odisha for the rehabilitation of the handicapped. Sorry, it's the government of India. Now remember that this question can be with respect to government of India and it can be with respect to government of Odisha. In both the cases, if you are writing the statement, then it is so far so good. As per the census 2011, there are 26 million differently abled person in the country. See, I have written the statement differently abled person. Differently abled person, rather than writing the handicapped person. Better use this word differently abled person. Next, what has been the government initiative? Reservation in job, scholarship program. Again, we have the Atal Bimit Vyakti Kalyan Yojana, etc. With respect to Odisha, in case the question is asked for Odisha, remember the scheme Bhimo Bhoi Bhinno Khyama Abhiyan. These are the simple schemes that you can look into through the Google. I'm extremely sorry that I'm not being able to provide this given the condition or the nature of my work, and I've been recently posted. So thank you. That will be all for today. And I have also sent the PDF. Please do check the PDF in the Telegram. Thank you.